is Bionicle returning in 2022? Well, maybe. Hey nerds, it's David here again, and today we're going to talk about like I said, is Bionicle coming back in 2022, and the results of the first round of the LEGO Ideas poll for the 90th anniversary set. And so first, a little recap about that poll. Bionicle did really well. We Bionicle fans stood by our product, and Bionicle easily won the top spot. I think it got like 30% of the vote, or like it was a really good amount. And so going into the second round, which it's only the top three, and then I'm just covering everything so everyone knows. And this one, so the first round was an open round, I guess. Like LEGO would let us see how everyone was doing. The second one though was closed, so we won't see all the votes and how each individual theme is performing. And even then, LEGO still has the right to choose of those top three which one they actually want to make the commemoration set for. And that's the keyword there, commemoration set. It's not whichever theme wins doesn't get a full line. And so that now that we understand that, is Bionicle coming back in 2022? Well, no. The line is definitely not coming back in 2022 as far as we know. But will a commemoration set, a Bionicle commemoration set, be coming in 2022? Well, it's possible. And at this point, I now want to reference another video I watched by DuckBrick. So I really recommend checking out his channel. And a lot of what I'm about to share is influenced by what he said in his video about this. And I agree with it. I think it is unlikely LEGO is going to choose the Bionicle theme for the anniversary set, or the 90th anniversary set of LEGO, and of all of LEGO at that. And so why is it unlikely? First of all, just like getting the molds will be really difficult. According to DuckBricks, like LEGO destroys all the molds after like 3 years, especially I assume if they're not in use. So for one, it'd just be hard to make. And then going another step further, if you consider Christian Faber a reliable source, if you remember his live stream like last year, which I think my first video like on this subject was actually in response to him. But if you believe Christian Faber, ball joints like these here just require too much plastic for LEGO to do again. Now, is that true or not? Or regardless if it is or isn't, I think it's safe to say that is definitely an excuse that LEGO always has, if they not to bring back Bionicle as like they did in G1, which I know a lot of people like, and I also like the G1 aesthetic, but by all accounts, it seems like G1 is definitely an aesthetic like that is very unlikely to ever happen again. Very, very sad to say. But what about some other aesthetic? Is that possible? Well, maybe. And then speaking of aesthetics, going back to DuckBricks and those other two themes that made it into the top. If I remember correctly, it was for sure Lego Space. That one was there, and then I believe the second one was Lego Pirates. And definitely Lego Space. Like that's a more traditional like brick system type build. And Pirates, from what I remember of like the Pirates set, or when I was a kid, like it does fit more of that mold. I think has a bit more like custom like pieces to it, like for the boat. But I mean, it's still like a brick set. So honestly, I think as far as the commemoration set goes, it's unlikely to be anything like in the Constraction line, whether it's G1 more Technic style, or like with CCBS. I think that's also like just unlikely. I think it's unlikely. However, if Bionicle did win, I think how they would do it, and I have something at least I would be fine with, is if we remember, like I think it was last year, there was also on the Lego Ideas forum, like a one contributor like made, it was like a Bionicle. It was like the top 3 like highlights of like this of the line, and then like commemorating like important moments using Lego bricks. I think a set like that, honestly, if Lego did go for Bionicle, I think it's something to be more like that, just because I think it would be way easier to produce rather than for a commemoration set. Basically, if Lego were to do like a commemoration set like using actual like Bionicle pieces, they basically have to tool a factory to create an entire line of, you know, those pieces, whereas this is just supposed to be a commemoration set. So I really don't think Lego is going to go with Bionicle for that commemoration set, even if it did win, and especially not in like Bionicle pieces. But that said, what about Constraction just in general? And I think there actually is a chance, like perhaps that will happen, because and this is another point that DuckBrick pointed out in his video. He points out that undoubtedly this poll with those 30 themes is undoubtedly Lego is doing market research with that. They want to see like which themes would be popular to resurrect in some way, shape, or form, possibly. And actually at this point I'm curious, what themes did you vote for? I'm assuming if you're watching this, Bionicle was one of them, but what were the other 2? For me, those were Lego Rock Raiders, and then I think it was Aquazone. That was the other one I voted for. And so feel free to let me know down in the comments which were your other top in your top 3 in addition to Bionicle. So Lego undoubtedly did market research like with that, or with this poll. They're undoubtedly doing it. So it's very clear to Lego that if it isn't already, like between this poll and then just, I feel like Lego Ideas Forum, like the Bionicle community has always been really good at like promoting like stuff for our universe, for the Bionicle theme. So like I think it's undeniable that Lego is aware that these Bionicle fans aren't going away anywhere anytime soon. They are very vocal and routinely show up to support products that they feel represent their line. So I think Lego has some confidence in Constraction, or at least is curious about it. And at this point I'm going to reference a different YouTuber, and this one is BioTuber. And I think he actually recently subscribed to me, so thanks so much for that. It really does mean a lot to me. But he actually recently posted a video, and it was kind of about this idea in general, just Constraction. And like he mentions, like he like has like he showed like a picture of like a recent like Lego Constraction figure they have coming, and then just in general, like you can go to the Lego website right now, and you will see Technic is still there. You know, because especially if you look at like the G1, it is Technic Bionicle. So the Lego theme that, you know, Bionicle was under, technically speaking, is still around and seems like doing well. So Lego, I think, still has some interest like in it, and it's just the question becomes when and what will it be? Will it be Bionicle, or will it be something like Bionicle? Now, I am honestly very hopeful that I think Lego will do Constraction in the future. I think one of the themes will definitely be Lego Star Wars, because Lego Star Wars is super popular. And I heard like the previous sets didn't do well. I know I never bought one. So like they may be hesitant about it, but I mean, Star Wars is just such a big cultural phenomenon, especially like now with The Mandalorian. I think like if Lego is going to try it, Lego Star Wars is going to be a part of it no matter what. But what about beyond that though? Is it possible that Bionicle could happen, or something that's like Bionicle in spirit could get it? And honestly, I hope that it's something like Bionicle, not necessarily Bionicle itself. And why do I say that? Well, in Bionicle G2, Lego did try to simplify the story. And now I think they dramatically oversimplified it. Like dumbed it down way too much. But I feel like if it's something that's like Bionicle, that gives Lego the opportunity to make it as simple and as complex as they want it to be, and not be judged against the original Bionicle. Now, obviously, I'm going to do that no matter what. But if at least it doesn't have the Bionicle name on it, then they're free from those expectations and like things that I am expecting them to do. You know, because like if they call it Bionicle, it's like, okay, I'm expecting 6 heroes, you know, with each of the main 6 elements. You know, fire, earth, stone, water, ice, and air, and I expect them to have those characters to have like these characteristics, these names, all of that. You know, like by not being Bionicle, it gives them a bit more freedom, and I hope that Lego still wants to keep some complexity to it. Even as an 8-9-year-old, one of the things that made Bionicle stand out to me was just like the naming, how things were named in it. Like I specifically remember when I was playing Monog, and it's like reading like the tunnel section, like on our way to Onokoro, and it's like, okay, Leiwahi, Ta-Koro, and I felt like this was like there was an actual language like behind it. And that's because there was, you know, and like, okay, Koro meant village, Wahi meant region, you know, and the prefix to it, Le, Ta, Po, obviously it matched with the Toa and like the element. And as a child, I thought that was so cool. And I hope children, you know, these days they still like value that and pick up on that. So I really hope that Lego still like wants to do like something that has that complexity to it in their story, whatever it is. So there you go. I think that's all that I really need to say like in this video. So I guess kind of just in summary, so is Bionicle coming back in 2022? So the line definitely most likely is not coming back unless Lego has something up their sleeve. But will a Bionicle commemoration set be coming out in 2022? Possibly. That's what Lego or Bionicle won the Lego poll for. Personally, I think it's more likely they're going to choose another theme for that commemoration set. But looking at the wider themes and just like Constraction in general and Constraction sets, that I do think is possible. And I think, this recent poll that Lego did for that commemoration set shows the interest that is still in Constraction and that there is still a market from it. They just need to make a good product. And so really the question then becomes, should it be Bionicle or should it be something that I hope is like Bionicle and at least has the spirit of it, but not necessarily the name, because then that gives Lego the freedom to really do whatever they want with it and just be free from like this, from both. So obviously Bionicle G1 sold well, but G2, I've had some people try to tell me that it wasn't a failure. All I'm going to say is they canceled it early. So chances are, I'm sorry, it was a failure. And I'm sure the Lego execs have, when they hear Bionicle, I'm sure there's probably a certain stigma about it. So by not calling it Bionicle, at least initially, I think that gives that line definitely like internally perhaps greater chance to succeed. And then just like as a market, we the consumer will know if we can recognize if it has the spirit of Bionicle and like just that care and passion in it or not very easily. And I really think that is what the future holds for Constraction. All right, so thanks again for watching, everyone. If you've watched this long, just don't forget to leave a like to let me know that you like this video. And then also, if you really like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel to get more Bionicle content. My channel is still young in its journey, and Bionicle is definitely a topic I want to continue talking about, and something I plan to continue talking about. My Bionicle game is still coming along pretty good, all things considered, and especially now that I'm a dad, I have a lot less time. And so for YouTube, the content that drives subscribers, that is one way in which I'm looking to prioritize what projects I do. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. And as always, stay nerdy.